What if I told you this chicken Caesar taco has no tortilla and the shell is made entirely out of cheese? Now I have no doubt about it, you are gonna love me for this recipe. So already hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment and say thank you in advance, because this one is gonna be fun. Now the chicken Caesar taco, the first thing you need to get this started is you need some chicken. You gotta have chicken, okay? Chicken thighs or chicken breasts, whatever you choose. I am using chicken thighs. I like the extra flavor and stuff that it produces, but if you want chicken breast, no problem. I'm using about 3 full servings, 3 pieces here. I've already trimmed them down. It is important because when you actually make the shell out of the cheese with the chicken, you don't have really thick pieces of chicken. It's really smooth, it gives a really good bite. And I'll put a video down below of how I actually show you how I trim my thighs up to make them, or any chicken for that matter, to make them nice and they cook even. Now this is gonna make about 4 healthy size servings of a taco. I've already tested it, so if you want more than that, you could just double, triple, whatever have you, depends on how many you're making. The ingredients are very simple. I'm gonna put them right here on the screen for you. It's probably something you have in your house, but it's super easy to make. So let's get this chicken seasoned and throw it right in the pan, because that is step 1. First thing you always wanna do is take the moisture you may have off the chicken on both sides, because this allows you to get a really good sear. Put a little bit of olive oil across the top. You wanna season both sides of this. I'll put a seasoning recipe down for you so you can use. However, I am using the House of Flava steakhouse seasoning because this has pretty much everything I want inside. If you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the bio. However, I'll put you a basic rub together that you can use for your chicken. Pat that in, sprinkle a little bit of smoked paprika right at the end, and that's all you need. And yes, I do change my gloves all the time. All right, now if you got your hot pan, everything's pretty much ready to go. You want to take that seasoned chicken, no oil whatsoever, and drop it right in the cast iron pan if you got it. Now you may be tempted to move this around, don't. Right after about 3 to 4 minutes, look at this. You turn this over just like this. There you go. Perfectly charred chicken. All right, your chicken is good to go. After 3 to 4 minutes each side, you get your last piece and you let this sit to the side, because we're gonna cool this off and we're gonna have to put this back in the oven when we make the shell. Now that you got your chicken to the side, now we're gonna make the shell. Remember, this is keto friendly. It's not traditional shell. We're gonna make it out of cheese. So I'm using about 8 ounces of mozzarella, and I am going to prefer to grate mine myself. Now I'm not knocking anybody if you got to get the bag cheese because you're in a rush or that's what you prefer, but we're going to grate about 8 ounces of the fresh mozzarella, and we're going to mix that in a second with some Parmesan. Got that together. Now we're going to add about 3 ounces of some freshly shredded Parmesan. So we're going to throw that in there as well. There we go. Mix that together a little. All right, now that you got your cheeses together, you want to include some seasonings, right? Because you got to season your food. Now I'm going to list the ingredients that I'm using right here on the screen so you can have it. And you want to take those and drop them straight inside. You just mix these all up together here. Take a little bit of red pepper flakes and throw it in there for the flavor. And just a little bit of smoked paprika. And that's going to pretty much do the trick. Right there. All right, now you got your cheeses seasoned. They all blended together. And now we're gonna make the shell. Now right before I started this, cut my oven 425 degrees Fahrenheit and let that heat up, because that's where we're gonna put the pan inside the oven. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you go ahead and do that now and get your oven preheated. So you wanna take a handful of this, like so, and you wanna drop this right on your sheet. Just like that. Now there's a lot of people making this on the internet right now. However, I have found some are small, some are too big. You want it to fit really good in your hand, and you want it to be able to get a really nice bite of that Caesar contents on the inside. So I have figured out that about 5.5 inches is perfect. So if you look over here, I'll show you right here that everything is about 5.5 inches. 5.5, That's gonna give you the inside base and a couple inches on the side that makes it really good. Now, once you have these formed here, you wanna save some of that cheese. You do not wanna put all the cheese in there because now we're gonna put the chicken bites on top and then we're gonna cover it back up with a little bit of cheese. All right, now we're gonna take some of the chicken that was rested. It's important that it rests to keep the juices and stuff on the inside so that when we chopped it, the juices just didn't run all over the cutting board. Now you will not need all of this chicken, but just maybe a few pieces per one. And this is why I said it's good for them to be thin, because if they're big and chunky, it just doesn't look as well and the bite sometimes is uneven. So let's go ahead and now that we got this all done, we put the chicken right on top. This as long as the pieces are pretty close to each other so they can sit down in there. One last step before I hit the oven, some of that reserved cheese that you had with the seasoning, drop that right on top of the chicken. You got all four of those good. The cheese is on top of the chicken. You don't need a whole lot, but you need just enough so that when it melts, it keeps the cheese and the chicken confined to one piece. So when you turn it into your shell, as you're gonna see, it's all together and remains in with the bite. It's really, really good. So now we're gonna take this, throw this in a 425-degree oven, and all you need to do is bake it 11, 12 minutes. That's it, simple as that. While that's in the oven, you want to utilize that same time and go ahead and prepare the actual Caesar salad that you're going to place inside the taco. Now, I'm using about 10 ounces of romaine lettuce, but I don't want to use it as is. I like to chop mine up so that when you put it in the taco, there's none of them tough, crunchy pieces involved. So we're just going to chop this up. All right, we got all that chopped up, and now what we want to do is just take that lettuce and place everything into a bowl, because now we're gonna place the Caesar dressing in there, throw a little bit of croutons, and we got about 4 minutes or so left for our timer to go off of the oven. We're right on schedule. Now I'm gonna place a few tablespoons of Caesar dressing inside of here now, just so I can mix it up. Now you know when something come out of the mason jar, that means it's homemade. So I do have a homemade recipe for Caesar dressing. If you like it, let me know. Throw a little bit of cheese in there. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and just mix this up. A little bit of Parmesan in there as well, with a little chili flakes. There we go. And one thing I love about this is full of protein. So you got chicken on the outside in the shell, as you're gonna see, but we're gonna put chicken on the inside, just a little bit inside as well. So we're gonna mix some of that freshly seared chicken inside, and that's gonna be the filling inside of the taco. All right, those shells are now ready. Look at that. Now this is how the shells look here. You got the chicken all inside of the cheese. And most importantly, what we're gonna do now is you wanna let this rest. You do not wanna move this while it's hot. Cheese could burn you. So let this set for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and stuff the taco and get it ready. Now we're back, we have allowed this to rest, and here's the beauty of it. If you look at the bottom, which of course is going to be the inside, now this will flex really nicely, and that now becomes your taco shell. So this is the same way with all of them. 2 fingers on the inside, and look at that. Your taco shell is gonna be absolutely delicious and keto friendly. Now, I don't know if y'all thinking what I'm thinking, but you should comment right now how this looks. I mean, this looks absolutely beautiful. Have a look at that. Look at this right here. You got the cheesy crust on the outside, the chicken embedded on the inside right here, the Caesar dressing, everything contents on the inside. I say if I had to have a chicken Caesar salad, this is exactly how I would want it. So try this at home. Let me know in the comment section if you love this. I'm telling you, this is just a hit. It is about to be in my belly. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Share this with a friend. And let me know if you would have did something different. Because what's next on my list is I'm going to jerk this out. I'm going to definitely do a jerk Caesar salad in the future. Cheers. So good.